The following confessions are taken from material in the Strasbourg archives. The city wrote around to neighboring cities inquiring whether they had evidence that Jews were poisoning wells, and what steps were being taken against the perpetrators. The city received 11 replies in all. The formal courtesies have been omitted at the beginning and end of the letters. 1 reads: Rodolphe Doran, Knight Lord of Artels, Bailiff of Lausanne, and Michael de Vevey, Esquire, Saudier of Lausanne on behalf of the citizens of Lausanne, to Conrad van Winterthur, the Burgermeister of Strasbourg, and the city councillors. Lausanne, the Saturday after St. Martin and Winter. November 15, 1348. We have received your gracious letters with pleasure, and have accordingly sent you in writing under our seals the confessions made by a Jew called Bonadies. He was condemned to be set on the wheel, where he survived for 4 days and nights. While he could still speak, he held unvaryingly to his first story. And we have informed you that the lordship of the Count of Savoy, many Jews, and Christians as well, have confessed to the same appalling crime. Accordingly they were condemned to punishment by burning and impalement. The confessions they made have been communicated to our friends the officials and councillors of Bern and Fribourg at their request. With regards to the confessions in Savoy, another reads: The Castellan of Chillon, deputy of the bailiff of Chablis there, to the officials, councillors and citizens of Strasbourg. I understand that you want to know about the confessions of the Jews and the proofs brought against them. I am writing to tell you that the people of Bern have a copy of the Inquisition and confessions of the Jews dwelling in their neighborhood, who were involved in putting poison into the wells there and in several other places, and that copy contains a detailed account of the truth of the matter. Many Jews have been tried after being put to the question, or, in some cases, making confessions without it, and have been condemned to be burned. Some Christians, to whom Jews gave poison for use against Christians, have also been put on the wheel and tortured. For the burning of Jews and torturing of Christians has gone on in numerous places within the county of Savoy. May God keep you. The confession made on the September 15, 1348, in the castle of Chillon, by the Jews of Villeneuve imprisoned there on the charge of poisoning the wells, springs and other places, and putting poison into food in order to destroy and wipe out the entire Christian religion. Balavani, a Jewish surgeon who lived at Thonon, was arrested at Chillon after being found in the neighborhood. He was briefly put to the question and, when it was over, he confessed, after a long interval that about 10 weeks earlier, the Rabbi Jacob, who came from Toledo and had been living in Chambéry since Easter, sent him, by a Jewish boy, some poison, about the size of an egg, in the form of a powder, enclosed in a leather bag, accompanied by a letter, commanding him on pain of excommunication and by the obedience he owed the Jewish law, to put the poison into larger drinking wells of the town, the ones most commonly used, in order to poison the people using them, and not to tell anybody at all. The letter also said that rabbis have given orders for the same thing to be done in various other places. He confessed that one evening, he secretly put the poisonous powder under a stone in a spring on the shore of Thoron. He further confessed that the boy showed him many identical letters addressed to numerous other Jews, specifically some addressed to Mossoite, Bandaton and Simolet of Villeneuve, to Musso, Abraham and Achatus of Montreux, Jews residing at La Tour de Vevey, to Benetton and his son at St. Maurice. Several letters of a like nature were sent to Hebrew and Moshe, Jews at Mundy. The boy had told him he had taken many others to various places, a long way away, but he, Balavani, does not know to whom they were addressed. He further confessed that after he had put the poison in the spring at Thonon, he expressly forbid his wife and children to use the spring, but without telling them why. In the presence of many credible witnesses he confessed by the Jewish law and by the 5 books of Moses that everything he had said was true. On the next day, Balavani, voluntarily and without torture, maintained the truth of his confession, repeating it word for word in the presence of many credible witnesses and further confessing, of his own accord, that one day on his way back from La Tour de Vevey he had put into a spring below Montreux, namely the spring de la Conneride, a quantity of poison about the size of a nut, wrapped in a rag, which he had been given by Achatus of Montreux, who lives in La Tour. He told Muslitus what he had done and warned him not to drink from the spring. He described the poison as red and black in color. On September 19 Balavani confessed, without being put to the question, that 3 weeks after Pentecost, June 8, 1348, Moses, The Jew of Villand told him that he had put poison in the public drinking fountain of his own town, namely in the custom house there, and that afterwards he did not drink its water, but only drank from the lake. He also confessed that Moses told him that he had likewise placed poison in the public drinking fountain at Chilon, namely in the custom house under some stones. The spring was investigated and some poison found. Some of it was given to a Jew, who died, thereby proving that it was poison. He said further that rabbis had instructed him and other Jews not to drink water for 9 days after the poison had been put in it, and said that as soon as he had put poison in the spring he immediately warned other Jews. He confesses further that a good 2 months earlier he had been in Evian and, while talking the matter over with a Jew called Jacob, had asked him, among other things, whether he had had a letter and poison like the others, to which Jacob replied that he had. Afterwards he asked him whether he had obeyed the instructions, to which Jacob replied that he had put it into the spring de Morer at Evian. He urged Balavani the wisdom of dealing with the instructions in the same way. He confesses that Tacitus of Montrex told him that he had put poison into the spring at La Tour which he uses regularly when he is staying there. He confesses that Samala told him that he had put the poison which he had received into a spring, but refused to tell him which. Balavani, speaking as a surgeon, says further that if someone suffering the effects of the poison comes into contact with someone else, especially while sweating, the other person will be infected, and that the infection can be transmitted by breath as well. He believes this so, and is certain that the other Jews cannot acquit themselves of the charge, for they knew perfectly well what they were doing and are guilty. Balavani was taken across the lake from Chilon to Clarence, to identify the spring in which he had confessed putting the poison. Upon arrival he was taken to the spot and as soon as he saw the spring he said, "This is the spring where I put the poison." The spring was examined in his presence and the linen rag or cloth in which the poison had been wrapped was found in the channel going from the spring by Henri Girard, a notary public, in the presence of many people, and shown to be the Jew. He confirmed that it was the linen cloth or rag in which the poison had been enclosed when he put it in the spring, adding that the poison was of 2 colors, black and red. The linen cloth or rag was taken away and is in safe keeping. Balavani confesses everything recorded here, adding that he believes that the poison is derived from the basilisk, for he has heard it said that the poison would not be efficacious otherwise and is convinced that that is the case.